Vinay? A curtain could be a closer. Shadow. Right. Okay. Hello everyone. Hi. So, how is preparation going on? Still some 85 days left, no? 85 days. Okay, okay. So till now, how many subjects are over, finished? Here we have completed modern history, Indian geography, economy, science and tech, environment. So all these are done here. And yourself also are done with these things, no? Cool. Then, so did you revise them as well? Uh, all the aspects, economy and environment also. Good, good. Okay, so we will move to the next topic. Sorry, next subject, ancient Indian history. So, how many of you have already done this thing, ancient Indian history? You didn't do, na? Okay, not doing is the best thing. Then it will be very easy. So, you might have known how we have completed modern Indian history and Indian geography in such a crisp and effective way, right? So, the same way, so today is 4th, and on 6th evening, you should be very confident about ancient Indian history. Okay, that way we will be doing the things. Got it? Okay, so first we will start about the overview and then we will get into the subject, or else immediately you cannot take the facts, na? So first why, what and all aspects we will cover. Okay, so is it taking any time to settle? No, right? You are attentive. Cool. So first we will discuss why we should be reading ancient Indian history, where, how, when. Okay, so if these things are addressed, then forever this thing topic will be settled. So just a 10-minute of casual talk on ancient history and then we will get into the subject. Right. So first, why we should read ancient history is, um, if you see, almost every year 5 questions are coming. So sometimes 3, sometimes 6 they say. So 5 questions are coming from ancient history. So the thing is that you might be thinking this is just a 10 marks. So just a 10 marker thing. Anything? Okay. So, but then, those who are missing the cutoff, see, for example, if 80 is the cutoff, so between 75 to 80 marks, there are nearly some, 50,000 students in this range only who are, good competitors not getting into the list. So, here, if you have already given the attempt and missed by very few marks, so you will know the essence and importance of each and every mark. And second thing is that, did anyone of you attempt the 2025 question paper? There are some drastic changes in 24-25. What is happening is that previously the already conceived things like, for example, polity was considered easy, economy was also considered easy. Now, and history was considered tough. Okay, but then what is happening is that if you have seen 2025 paper, polity is little bit becoming, moderate to difficult. Lengthy statements, analytical statements out of book, these kind of things are coming. Even economy also, lot of calculations are involved and some deep understanding is required. So what, and on the other hand, 2025 mein history was comparatively easier. And those who have read, peripherally, partially also, they will be attempting, very good number of questions. So history was the savior last time. So that is the reason when the shift of UPSC is moving towards history, you know, we need to focus on this thing very much. And third thing is that key, previously history optional used to be taken by lot of students. So that is the reason, see, if history optional is being taken and in the prelims examination itself, history, many questions are given, then it will be an advantage to them and disadvantage to other people. But then drastically, history optional was reduced. So that is the reason UPSC has now have the scope to give questions from history, okay, compared to other subjects. So these are the reasons. And other thing is that, see, every year 1 to 2 questions are coming from in the mains also. So in the mains also ancient history questions are coming, so you need to be careful about this. Also, ancient Indian history, a lot of examples can be used in essay, ethics and all, right? For example, Ashoka's Dhamma and all. So, Buddhist principles, all these are, ethics. I think in ethics, direct question itself is asked from Buddhism. So, this year or last year. So, this way, because of all these factors, you need to cover ancient history for sure, or else somewhere or the other you would be lacking compared to the good competitors. So that is the reason this cannot be ignored. Secondly, where to cover. So where to cover history is that case. See, this is the area which is not known to many students, and that is the reason they, take this as very difficult subject. For example, we have government sources and private sources. Okay, see, in government sources, what are the most thing is that NCRTs, new and old, right? Tamil Nadu book, and then we have this NIOS, and then some of them read. See, every state ka book, for example, in Telangana, Ambedkar University is there. So from that also good number of questions are coming. So they are reading. Now the private sources. So the private source, one eternal source for every private institution is ChatGPT. Okay, from this everyone makes notes. So now what happens is that if you follow these sources, the UPSC horizon is defeated and you will enter a zone which leads to optional. Okay, so optional may, like, very deep content is needed, this they will be giving you, and as a result what will be happening is that you will not be able to do the questions. And see, all these books are equally good. See, I am telling you that every year 5 questions are coming, right? You will never do 5 out of 5 questions. Okay, at max only 3 or 4 you can do. So from any book you can do. So any of this book. See, this is very confusing book. This is very bulky book. This is tilted towards Tamil Nadu history. So I founded this book. Not I. See, these lectures are there from years and years. Only that many students do not know. So National Institute of Open Schooling. So this is a book where the chronology is very well arranged, and then in simple terms. And if you see, in last 5 years, along with this book, I'll give you some 6 to 7 PDFs which are also government source only, which are from government source only. From this, not a single mains question will be out of these things last 5 years. And trust this I didn't prepare, and these are already existing ones, and every year the questions are coming from these sources. So just read this source. So this is a book of 132 pages, which means around 60 papers, right? And this also, if you see, take off the diagrams and all, it will be hardly 40 papers. Okay, 40 to 50 papers you please read the thing, and trust me, your ancient history will be done. So see, we have seen the what 60 page ka geography NCRT, right? How much information is there in that? True now. Same way, these 40 to 50 pages also has a very good quality information that will help you a lot in the examination. Okay, this way we should be covering. So this is the source. So already, if you have not invested sufficient amount of time on these things, okay, and if even if you have invested and if you are uncomfortable, then this is the best source. Trust me, you will definitely see after going to don't trust me also, after going to your home, just take this book and every year see the questions and cross check it. So definitely the hit ratio will be very high compared to others. Okay, so this is one good source, and it is a government source only. Okay, that is one thing. Now, how to read? So how to read ancient Indian history? Okay, so we have firstly two steps. Okay, first step is that this is a very simple thing, simple logic of just 3 minute wala thing, but then students ignore it for years and years. Okay, thing is chronology. Okay, they do not know chronology because in most of the books which we have discussed previously, it is not given, and in the private sources every small minor kingdom is given. Okay, and emphasis goes on that only, and actually on the important things emphasis is not there. So from this NIOS source and from the questions we can decode the chronology this way. First is we have, see how the chronology is arranged is, you have to know this thing. See for example, just a small brief I want to tell you. Do you know that before 1920s we do not have any history? I mean, as Indians, we do not know our past. Okay, it was only in like Lord Curzon was there. Under Lord Curzon, 1905 Bengal partition. You have heard, right? During that time, he came up with this archaeological survey of India. Okay, so Alexander Cunningham, he took over the charge during this period. At that point of time, also Asiatic Society of India of Bengal, you might have seen. So who is the founder? So William Jones, right? So these people, along with a lot of Indian historians, have come to discover India's past. Okay, so through this discovery only we know that we had some civilization, we had some past. So before this we were not knowing. So entire, it was obscure thing. See for example, this Sahani is there. He was a historian. So he came up with, he discovered a Harappan civilization in the year 1921. Then only we started claiming that ki Indian civilization is as comparable, as rich as the Greek civilization, Egyptian civilization, Mesopotamian civilization. So we started glorifying our civilization in this way. Okay, so which means that this chronology was also loosely ordered. Okay, so which means they have discovered a stone and then they have started saying that this is the Stone Age. Okay, see for example, so this is the difference between actually I will tell you one example. What is the difference between the mindset of a topper and a not successful candidate? What happened is that I have seen many students who are not successful. They were telling that history may, yeah, they ask very small places, they ask very small object, why this hand is raised, that leg is kept this way, or these kind of things. So they do not they have these kind of notions. But then toppers have entirely a different idea about this thing. See for example, in the Harappan period we have this rice discovered in Lothal and Rangpur. Okay, we have cotton being discovered in Mohenjo-daro. So which means that a proper understanding is that see, from these small artifacts, from these small discoveries, an entirely rich civilization was brought to light. Which means we should be proud as an Indian, or else we would be, see, now everyone can claim that rice is being given to India from the West, you are nothing. Okay, but then because we have the evidence, we will claim that no, we have it. Okay, so this kind of rich heritage, is owned by us. So this proper thinking is such way that they give very simple questions, because from these simple questions only, a large civilization was being brought to light and glorified, and which we are proud of. So if not UPSC student, then who else is will remember these things right now? So for example, this stone age is there. Stone age may, the stone age dates back to 50,000 years ago. So in 50,000 years ago only, we have this art of painting on caves. So you can appreciate that we have this quality of drawing in that period itself, which means we give importance to the culture, social life, leisure, playing, everything. Okay, this way we have granaries. We have granaries in the Mohenjo-daro period, which means to save the food, which means we have a vision that future may our generation should not suffer. These kind of things are there. That is the reason the topper mindset is that from the small things which are being asked in the examination, bigger things are there. So that is the reason you need to remember these kind of smaller things also. Okay, so as first step, we need to remember the chronology. Okay, in the chronology, first we have Stone Age. Okay, Stone Age, which is again divided into three: uh, Paleolithic, Mesolithic, and Neolithic. Don't worry, see, the Paleolithic is 50,000 years ago, and this is 10,000, and this is 8,000 years ago. Okay, but then in our book it is only 4 pages. Okay, all 50,000 years ka history is covered in 4 pages only. Okay, so after that, what happened is that here it is entirely stone, na? So we discovered the first metal that was discovered by man and in India is copper. Okay, so copper was the first metal to be discovered, and because of this copper age is called Chalcolithic age. Okay, Chalcolithic age. In this Chalcolithic age, at some places this prospered. For example, Banas region is there. There also we have, and Malwa region is there. Among them, Harappan region is also very important. Chalcolithic age ka important thing. Okay, so Harappan civilization is very important among the Chalcolithic civilizations that were existing. So these were very small in area, and also not much what to say prosperous. So that is the reason we focus more on Harappan region, Harappan culture. Okay, now you are understanding. First is Stone Age. See, stone is the first what to say tool that is used by men. That is the reason we are talking about the Stone Age. Then copper is the first metal discovered, Copper Age. Then what happens is that first time we have the evidence of written literature. So that is the reason we call it Vedic Age. Okay, Vedic Age. See, Vedic Age does not refer to it was entirely based on Vedas. So it means that we came to know about the society polity of that era through Vedas. That is the reason we are calling Vedic Age. Similarly, why we are calling Harappan Age, Harappan civilization? See, first we used to call it as Indus Valley civilization, because most of the sites were around the region Indus. But then later on, apart from Indus also, we have lot of sites discovered. So, but then we are calling Indus Harappa, because Harappa was the first site to be discovered. That is the reason we are calling. Other than that, Harappa is great or Lothal is not great, it is not so. Okay, so this is Harappa just because we have discovered this thing. Vedic Age also, just because we came to know about the social, political, economic life of that period through Vedas, we are calling it as Vedic Age. Okay, so this Vedic age around 1500, sorry, up to 1600 BC, we have this Vedic age. Okay, right. After Vedic age, what happens is that case slowly, see, you can, in your mind, you can see the transition happening. So, till this period, what is happening is that a settled, life was not there. Here, for the first time, we see Mahajanapadas, okay, which means territorial states. First time there is a king, there is an army, there is a proper tax collection system, economy was very well organized, all things were happening in the Mahajanpadas period. Okay, so in this Mahajanpada, one important one is Magad. Okay, Magad. After this, we have some smaller dynasties for which only one paragraph is dedicated, which is, for example, Shishunagas, Nandas, okay, Kanvas, all these things. Okay, from these things, only in the book also one paragraph is only dedicated. Also, see, from these things, once in one, 5 to 6 years, a question comes. So we need not focus much on these things. Okay, so Magad. After this, Mauryan period is there. Mauryan period is there. So in the Mauryan period, we have Ashoka. Okay. So after Mauryan period, Ashoka's kingdom got downsided, and then we have the foreigners. Okay, some foreigners are there. Some foreigners like Greeks, Bactrians. Okay, Shakas. So all these people are there, foreigners. Okay, so these people have come, and for them also, trust me, only one page is dedicated in your book. Okay, after that we have Guptas. Okay, Guptas. Uh, After Gupta we have Harsha age. Harsha, and after this we have, see, after Gupta now what happened is that all over the country the large Gupta kingdom fell down and small kingdoms have come up. For example, in the northern region, Palas. Okay, in south region, Cheras, Cholas, Pallavas. Okay, in the western side, Rashtrakutas. Okay, so this Harsha, we call them as Pushyabhuti dynasty. Okay, so how many are there? If you count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, all these 8. 8 chapters are the syllabus for you. If you know these 8 chapters, your ancient history will be done. Okay. So, right. No. 300 BC. Okay, so even Satavahanas, all these things are also covered here only in the first century and all. So smaller kingdoms we are not worried about. Okay, if at all one question comes once in 5-6 years, that is to be left, because you this is like a input output. Like, see, for example, Satavahanas, if you want to read some question, see, I know every question where it is coming from. I can tell you the source also, but it is not worth investing such an amount of energy on it. Okay, so that is the reason we are doing this thing. Fine. Then how we will okay, this is the first step to do ancient history, right? First is to know the chronology. Second step, I have told you, right? Second step is that in these things, what to be read. For example, you should not be concerned about every small minor aspect of everything. For example, in the Harappan period, only they have focused on the urbanization aspect. See, in the Stone Age, they have focused only on the sites. What are the sites of Neolithic age? Okay, for example, in the Vedic age, you have only focus on literature. Okay, in the Mahajanapadas period, again, only geographical aspects are important. Okay, see for example, there are 16 Mahajanapadas. So will you sit and study each and every Janapada's founder, how it is formed and all, so that history we are not bothered about. Okay, so similarly, every chapter has its own core element that has to be focused. Only that way. So first is knowing the chronology, what is exactly there in history, and secondly, inside that also what we have to focus. These two things have to be taken, absorbed into the mind carefully, then only the things will be done. So how we have segregated is that in day one today, which means we are going to discuss these three things. Okay, it is easy. So second day, Mahajanapadas and Mauryans. Okay, these three, then Guptas and others. So 3 days may we will finish it. Okay, got it? Any everything is smooth, right? Cool. So this is how knowing the chronology and then knowing what to see. Now you will not be knowing now what is to be read inside. So with the discussion you will be knowing. But then chronology, please try to focus now. How you will remember is that first Stone Age, then yeah, Chalcolithic age, in which Harappan culture is very important, and then Vedic age, and then Mahajanapadas, and then Mauryan foreigners, uh, Guptas, and Harsha. And see, every time one bigger kingdom will be there and one smaller kingdom will be there. Okay, so bigger and smaller will be followed. Why? Because see, this is a cycle. Like every time a empire is formed and then it disintegrates because the last king will be enjoying all the wealth and all. So suddenly some stronger ruler will defeat this person and occupy, and a new kingdom will be established. Okay, so this way within your 60 pages book, this history of 5,000, sorry, 50,000 years to almost 1000 AD, because in 1027 Muhammad Ghori has attacked India, right? From then medieval history will be starting. Okay, so this is where you have to focus. So just 60 pages, all this information is very well given in this prescribed book. So you will be very much comfortable with this thing on third day. Okay, so then shall we start with this thing? Okay, so first is Stone Age. Yeah. Amen. Okay. So Stone Age. See, just for convenience only, they have divided all these things, or else, see, it is our discretion to remember anyway. But then in the book, we have this thing: Paleolithic, Mesolithic, and Neolithic. So, Paleo means old, right? Lithic means stone. So, old Stone Age, middle Stone Age, new Stone Age. Okay. So, if you have to tell the year, this is 50,000 years ago. Okay, 10,000 years, 8,000 years ago. Okay, now, let me tell you about this Paleolithic age. See, Paleolithic age, you can imagine that this was the time where Earth started, somewhat warming. Previously, it was entirely filled with ice. So, in the tropic regions, this time Earth started cooling, sorry, warming, and then some trees and soil was available for the humans to settle. That is the first time, as part of anthropology, you might have studied now. Who is that person who have first stood and started walking? Some Australopithecus or some, okay, I too don't remember. So, okay, so this period was that time where man started walking. Okay, so see, the thing is that UPSC wants to know our history from initial starting period. So that is the reason they have given the Paleolithic age also. So this is the period where then how the human would be. You can imagine nomadic, no clothes, only leaves, roaming here and there. So all these things were there. So that was the time. And how would the tools would be there? Tools. So tools, we just have chopping tools, like no innovation, just what to say, a very rough heavy tools, like they are not very efficient to kill even an animal. And the hunting also, the style was that they used to hunt one big animal and then they bring the booty to the tribe and then they share among themselves. So this kind of living was there, so no settled living or anything as such. Okay, so this was Paleolithic age. So you can imagine now. Okay, so at that time when man started walking, how the situation used to be there, nothing, right? So now Mesolithic age may see this has happened for 40,000 years. Now in 10,000 BC, what happened is Middle Stone Age. Now slowly, like domestication of animals has started, and then tools had become little sharper. Okay, the tools are known as microliths. So very small tools with some geometrical, shapes. And then bow and arrow first time has come. Okay, bow and arrow. Okay, the important thing about the Mesolithic age is that there is a place called Bhimbetka. So Bhimbetka mein you have this first evidence in the Bhimbetka cave region. You have the evidence of paintings. Okay, paintings. These paintings, depict the social and economic life. For example, in the social life, we have the pictures depicting the birth of a child and being celebrated. Okay, economic life, we see the painting of an animal being killed and carried to place and being cooked and all these things. So this is such an important thing that UNESCO had added it in the UNESCO World Heritage Sites, this Bhimbetka region, just because of these ancient human cave paintings. Okay, so this you should appreciate the thing. Okay, this is Mesolithic age. Okay, now, so Neolithic age or Neolithic revolution we call it. So why is this? Because a very predominant changes have occurred here. For example, for the first time we have this agriculture, some settled agriculture, and first time villages. Mean now they are not roaming. See, here they are roaming here and there. Here they are living in caves. Now small huts, at one place they are staying. These kind of villages had formed. And then, okay, just a curious question. For example, pottery is there. Pottery. So where pottery was developed, can you say? So, for example, why? Because agriculture is there, crops surplus production is there. So surplus production is there. To store and to cook, we need pots. So that is why the evidence of first, see, these things, pottery and wheel. Today we are living in the modern, AI age. So that is why we may not appreciate the smaller inventions and discoveries of that period. But then they were such a milestone and watershed events that they have pushed the human civilization, by generations forward. Okay, that is the reason the wheel and these kind of things, first time, pottery, all these things are very important discoveries. So only a person with a deep sense of empathy could understand these things. Okay, so this is one thing. So for the first time settled agriculture came, so all the crops like wheat, rice, so jowar, like you have to remember that millets. So millet, we have the evidence of ragi being cultivated in South India for the first time in the Neolithic age. Okay, so this way we have Paleolithic, Mesolithic, and Neolithic age. These things. Okay, so these questions were also asked, like if you don't know this thing, then you can put agriculture here also, or here also, pottery here also, wherever it is. So this way you have to remember, and then how the tools will be here, very much advanced, right? Very highly advanced tools are there. We call it as cells. So cells are like a kind of axis where it will be unique for every person, which fits into the hand. Like if for your hand you will have your own cell, it is such a sophisticatedly designed for you only, you will have your own. So that way we have our own axis which are unique to us. So these kind of things are called cells. So very small, for hunting small animals we have one kind of things. For big animals we have other kind of tools. This way the tools here are very advanced. Okay, so this you are getting right. So with this thing they are done. But then there is one disturbing aspect that we have to know from exam perspective, is that there are 10 places here, 5 places here, and 10 places here. These places we have to remember now. Okay, so if we are uh, let us remember the places in the book. So if you are done with that, then the Stone Age is done. Okay, then we will move into the Harappan period. Okay, everyone, it is clear. Now let us take the book. Actually, for the sake of online students, na. Mhm. So, like every one of you are having the book, na, either in whatever the format is. Why? Okay, see, open this now. Okay, in this book, na, the first chapters are like sources to know the history. So the sources are kind of the things which will be mentioned in the later chapters. So if you have completed Guptas, for example, in the sources it is mentioned Kalidasas, all the books are written, Ritu Samharam and all these things. So you will know these things while reading the Gupta period. Okay, you need not focus much here. After completing these 8 chapters, you can come back to that chapter and read. By then, most of the things will be known to you. Right. Okay, so page number 16. Page number 16. So here, yeah, I was talking the Pleistocene period. In the Pleistocene period, we have this thing. So tools of the Paleolithic period, I was telling the chopping tools. Chopping tools. In page number 16, you will find here chopping tools. So this is also important. Burins and scrappers. Burins and scrappers are in the Paleolithic age. So these are the kind of tools. See how blunt they are. Not sharper. Just for chopping, to cut the tree roots and all these things are there. By when you read, you will be easily understanding. Okay. So this is what I am telling. We need to remember this geographical distribution. It is in page number 18. So Paleolithic age sites. Okay. First is Kashmir Valley. You will be knowing Sohan Valley in Rawalpindi, which is Pakistan, right? Sohan Valley in Pakistan. But then these are the things which you need to remember. Nevasa and Patna. See, you need not remember this. It is on the tributary of Godavari on Tapti river. This is not needed. Just remember the places. So I have used this code Pan B. Pan B is some tablet now. Pan D. Okay, right. So P for Patna, A for Adamgarh, N for Navesa, and B for Balan Valley. Okay, this Balan Valley is in UP. This is a site of all the three ages, both Paleolithic, Neolithic, and Mesolithic. Okay, so these are the only four sites. One more site is there, right? So these four you have to remember. These are Paleolithic sites. Okay. In Tamil Nadu, the important site is Attiram Pakkam. Okay. So 5 places you will remember, right, for Paleolithic age. In Tamil Nadu, Attiram Pakkam. So you can write P A is there na A square, right? So these five are Paleolithic sites done. So rest other thing, while reading the paragraphs, what I have said, you will be recollecting and corroborating it, right? Now Mesolithic age. So Mesolithic age, Middle Stone Age. So Middle Stone Age, it is 10,000 BC. Okay, here we have talked about the fishing, domestication of animals. These two things, whatever you remember, see, microliths are very important, and rock paintings at Bhimbetka. So Bhimbetka, it is a region in Madhya Pradesh, near the capital city Bhopal only. Okay, so Mesolithic age, you have to remember Bhimbetka paintings and microliths. Rest all in the evolution part you will be realizing. So here you can see the geometric forms like triangles, lunates, and trapezes all are there. So the shapes have come in the Mesolithic period. Okay. So Mesolithic sites. So Mesolithic sites, uh, you have this Langnach and Bhimbetka. Bhimbetka is also there for 3. Okay. And then Chupani, Mando, See, this Chopani Mandu is again Velan Valley only in Uttar Pradesh and Sangankallu and Tuticorin. Okay, so I have used this code. If you want, you can also. Okay, B for Birbanpur, not Bimbetka. Okay, Tuticorin, Sanganakallu, Langnach. Okay, and this word is used as an abuse na, in South, but then it literally refers to brother-in-law, right? Okay. So whatever, see if you have another different code you can use. So this is how I remembered. I am just telling you plainly. Okay. So these are the sites. Actually, remembering in fun way works. Got it? So this is geographical distribution of the Mesolithic sites. See, these people were eating dog, hippo, lizard, tortoise also. So this was, we see their diet, and then okay. So now we are coming to Neolithic age. So Neolithic age was, this person is very important, John Lubbock. So John Lubbock was the person who have used this term Neolithic revolution, this term. So because to magnify the changes, to understand the changes that have starkly came up. Na, see for example, agriculture activities, domestication, pottery, sharper polished tools, all these things are there. So this happened during the Neolithic revolution. Okay, so access called celts are there in Neolithic period. Okay, these are also these objects, needles, scrapers, borers, pendants, bangles, earrings, all these are there. So if you see, this seems to be very simple, but then if this is given as a option statement in the question, definitely you would not assume that okay, this might be there or might not be there and all. So small things only, your awareness at that point of time is very important. Okay. Yeah. Now, geographical distribution of Neolithic sites. So, Neolithic sites, uh, this Mehrgarh is there. It is in Afghanistan, Balochistan. Balochistan is now in Pakistan. No? So, they are fighting both Afghanistan and Pakistan. Right. Okay. So, this is Balochistan. This Mehrgarh is very important Neolithic site. So, but then and now it is. So here we find the evidence of like sun-dried bricks. So they can give this way also, like from where do we get the evidence of houses and sun-dried bricks and all these things? So it is Mehrgarh. Okay. So crops like wheat, barley, cotton, WBC, white blood cells. Okay. Kashmir Valley. These are also very important. Burjhom and Gufrikal. So actually, here are many sites Neolithic. See, with the time, uh, the sites become more, and then historians also have easy access to this, right? So they have given lot of places now. So Chiran, so just Chiran is a more very important popular sites, and then see how many are there: Sanganakallu, Brahmangiri, Hallur, Utnur, Nagarjunkonda. All these Telugu places are also there, right? So see, Neolithic, may every place will be included. So you need not remember exactly, okay, unless there is huge importance. Okay, this way these sites are also covered, right? Millet was one of the earliest crops cultivated by South India. So even if it is given like millets are popular in the western India also, right? So but then was evidence of first millet growing was found from South India. So again, village settlements, all these domestication. Now domestication on large scale, herds of sheep, hence all these things were are also domesticated. Okay, so prehistoric art. So prehistoric art. Please remember that this depicts only the social and economic life. In the examination some years ago, they have given us political life also. So from that paintings, we do not understand the political life, just the social and economic life. Social life, how childbirth scenes are there, like a child is born and being celebrated. Economic life, hunting scenes are there. Okay, that way we will decipher. So you can see these things. So these are kind of rectangle. So just very whatever the leaves or the paintings, what they have used. You see, 10,000 years ago also, and now in 2026 also they are clearly visible. So such a good artist. Okay, that's it. So we are done with the first chapter. Okay, okay, right. Second chapter. Board. So how was it? Easy? Cool, na? Or else these things, like it's a matter of 15 to 20 minutes, and all around the preparation for years and years, they are having a negative mindset about this history and all. Okay, so it's easy. We'll do it very nicely. Okay, so the second chapter, Harappan Age. Okay, so year 1921 is very important because this Banerjee and Sahani, these were the two archaeologists or historians who have excavated sites in the region of Haryana and Rajasthan, all these regions, and then brought to light the Harappan civilization. Okay, see, the thing is that all of you know that Harappan civilization means we will be talking about urbanization, right? Urbanization. So why urbanization has occurred is, see, everything, it is kind of linked only. In the Paleolithic age, we have seen agriculture, na? So agriculture, if agriculture is more sophisticated, first time we have the evidence of tools, sorry, metals, copper. So you know that the order is that CBI. Copper was the first metal discovered, then bronze, then many other metals like gold, silver, and all, and iron was the last metal that was used. Okay, CBI. Okay, so now in Paleolithic age we have lot of agriculture growing. So agriculture means surplus production will happen. Due to surplus production, people will have good economy. Money is there, Abhi. Okay, now if money is there, they will start building very good houses. At that too, comparative social statuses have come now. So all this advancement has happened slowly with the advancement from the Paleolithic age itself. Okay, sorry. Yeah, so Neolithic. So the Harappan age was, was a development from the Neolithic age. Okay, good year. Right. Got now? So this is how the Harappan civilization have come up. Hmm? Now, okay. So the first site that was discovered was Harappa. That is the reason we are calling Harappan civilization. So previously it was called Indus Valley civilization because many of the sites used to be focused in and around the Indus Valley region. But then with the time we have discovered the sites in non-Indus Valley region also. For example, in Gujarat, in Rajasthan, and in Haryana, all these regions also. You know that up to Punjab only we call it the Indus Basin. Below that we are not calling. So in these regions also we have discovered lot of places, sites. So that is the reason we have started calling it as the Harappan region. Okay, you have to know that Harappan region, Harappan civilization is one among the many Chalcolithic ages prevalent at that point of time. Okay, so Chalcolithic age we have some civilization in Malwa region also. So there is some other region culture called Khayata. So this civilization is there in MP region. Okay, Banas civilization is also there. So Banas we have studied now. This is a tributary of Chambal. Okay. So these are there, but the important one is Harappa. Okay. So this Harappa. So Sahani has discovered this Harappan region on the banks of river Ravi. Okay, and Banerjee has discovered Mohenjo-daro, and this is in the banks of Indus. Later on, many sites have come up. For example, we will be seeing now. See, every site have brought some unique feature about the what to say civilization of that period. That is the reason we need to remember the sites. See, why do you need to remember Lothal? Because in Lothal we have find the first time evidence of shipping. Dockyard is found. Now it is being promoted as the current affair also na maritime heritage complex is being built in Lothal region. So in Lothal, again another thing is that we have this bead maker shops are there. Okay, in Chanu there are also. Okay, Dholavira is there also. Kalibangan is there. In Kalibangan, we have found the evidence of ploughing, which means we can claim that we have the evidence of proper scientific agriculture, not just nomadic one. So this is a developed agriculture. So okay, in Mohenjo-daro we have the evidence of lot of things are there. For example, great bath, and then granaries are there, and then this worship you will come across now. Lot of religious aspects are there. So every site has brought to light a very important feature of the Harappan period. That is the reason we have to remember them in detail. Okay, so first point is that first apart from these things we will remember the sites. Okay, first thing. Second thing, you must be knowing Harappa means urbanization, na? So urbanization. So in the when it comes to urbanization, you need to know that that is a very highly advanced stage at that point of time. So when you compare history, like for in anthropology you study this thing now, comparative method. So comparative method may you compare the civilization of that period. So which means at that point of time you can appreciate that a brick is uniform. A brick which is used in the village, all the houses have the same uniform standard of brick. Okay, then drains. See, now in 2026 we don't have this idea about drains. They have drains plus covered ones. See how much they have about the sanitation and hygiene. Okay, so drains and with covered, and then every house has a courtyard for recreational purposes, and then every house, if this is the main road and if this is the house, there are smaller streets also. Such an advanced planning so that dust should not come if they use this entry, and they were using this back entry. Okay, so all the houses, and This streets cut at rectangles, very highly advanced planning is there. And then they have divided this entire city into two. Okay, this we call it as citadel. Citadel. So Citadel is movie is also there, no? Priyanka Chopra's. Right. So Citadel is there. On the west side, we have administrative buildings and the higher rich class. On the east side, we have the non-administration and lower classes are there on the citadel. Okay, these kind of segregations the cities have developed. Can you imagine this thing happening way back in that 1900 BC? Okay, such an important things these are to remember about the Indian history. Okay, so this you will be remembering about the um, urbanization. Now these people they have the contacts with like the Mesopotamian civilization and all these things. For example, now we will see the map. See, like every region have every a contribution towards this civilization. That is very important. Now, other important thing is that you have to remember the economy of this of Indus Valley people. Economy में first thing is agriculture, then industry, right, and trade. So in agriculture, you have to remember that except sugarcane, almost every other crop is grown. Okay, sugarcane came up in Vedic Age. Okay, so all the crops are grown, and then from Kalibangan we are having the evidence now that ploughing, Kalibangan ploughing. So don't worry, while seeing in the book now I will tell you how to remember also. Okay, then we have this Banavali is a place in Haryana. So we have the evidence of a terracotta plows. Okay, so some evidence suggests that they know about the seasons, manuring. Um, manure is also known to them. So this much advanced agriculture activities were going on. And then from granaries, we can know that how many, a huge surplus amount of agriculture was going on at that period, right? So granaries we find mostly in Harappa, Mohenjo-daro, Rangpur. So we will see those things. So from all these things, you can conclude that agriculture at that period was very much dominant and prevalent. And not just that, industry also. So industry, except iron, they were knowing every metal, almost every metal. They were knowing, they have idea about gold. But then gold, silver was the most used one. Okay, silver was the most used one. And then there are a lot of beads made of steatite. Steatite is one which we get mostly from coastal regions. So, this way a lot of metals and their contribution is there, which we will be knowing at this point of time. For example, in Dholavira and Chanudaro, they have shops where they sell these artifacts at that point of time. Then you can see how advanced the industry at that point of time is there. Not just metal, not just making, then to trade that, to sell that, you have shops. So such a highly advanced metal industry was developed at that point of time. Okay, now trade, you have trade both internal and external. Okay, so internal, you will see they have brought many, many stuff which they want from different regions. For example, in Kashmir, they have brought timber. Okay, and then there is something called lapis lazuli. No? So this from Afghanistan. Okay, so internal we will see from where we have brought, for example, copper from K3 mines in Rajasthan. Okay, so gold is there from Kolar mines, Karnataka. Now, so from all these things, you can know that the internal trade was also very much there. Now, external trade, we have links with Mesopotamia and Central India, sorry, Central Asia, Middle East. Okay, so Middle East. So with Mesopotamia, the highest traded one was silver. Okay, so archaeological evidences show that, see, all our Indian exports are found in the Mesopotamian region, but then most of the Mesopotamian exports are not found in India because we used to import mostly perishable goods. So perfumes, like meat and some clothes, all these things. So that is the reason. Except other than silver, we don't have evidence of other things much. Got it? So this way you will be remembering, knowing about the economic life also. Okay. So urbanization, economic life, and social life. These things are only there. So religious life. Okay. So religious life, you have mother goddess worship. Okay. Earth animism. Array in anthropology, who is there for this animism? Sociology also. Huh? E.B. Taylor. Okay. So linga worship is there. Earth worship is there. Burial worship is there. Female goddess worship is there. Okay. So I have used this code. Okay. So this way you can remember. Male BF. So mother goddess, animism, linga worship, earth worship, burial worship, and female goddess ka worship. Okay. So these things you will remember. They have a script also which is not deciphered yet. If it is deciphered, your syllabus would increase by huge amount. So it is not deciphered yet. And then they claim, the what to say, the language which they spoke is Brahoi language, which is now being spoken in this Afghanistan and Pakistan borders. So this they were speaking. Okay, so this is about the Harappan region, Harappan thing. See, this is just an introduction and to make you comfort, but then the actual things are in the book, which we will be seeing one by one. You have to remember the places and all these things, which I will help you in remembering that also. Okay, right. Okay, so page 30, right? 30 page number. Okay, so this is first thing. The brightest chapter was Harappan. Okay, that is fine. In the second paragraph, see na, Harappa on the banks of river Ravi. Harappa, Ravi, and it was discovered by Sahani. So I use this code Sahara. Okay, Safar, Sahani, Hafar, Harappa, Rafar, Ravi river. Okay, right. Next, uh, Mohenjo-daro discovered by Banerjee, na? Banerjee, R.D. Banerjee, on the banks of river Indus. IBM, MNC. Okay, na? So these two facts are done, or else in this page you will not find any difficulty. Right. So you have to open this page 31. Okay. In this paragraph, we have some sites which we need to remember. Okay. The first one is Manda in Jammu and Kashmir. So how will you remember Manda in Jammu Kashmir? So I remember Jammu man that way. So Shottugai in Afghanistan, Shottugai. So short half, Afghanistan half. Can you remember that way? Shottugai half, Afghanistan, Afghanistan. Okay, Harappa in Punjab, you know, Mohenjo-daro and Chanudaro in Sindh. Kalibangan in Rajasthan. How will you remember? Kalibangan is in Rajasthan. So in Rajasthan, hot. So because of hot, you, see if you are from Telugu, you can remember Kali Bodam, which is getting burned. If you are from Hindi, you can remember Kali, you become dark. Okay, Kalibangan, Rajasthan. Lothal and Dholavira in Gujarat. So I remember Gujarat Dolo tablet. So pick one person from Gujarat and he is taking Dolo tablet. So Dholavira and Lothal. So Banawali and Rakhigadi in Haryana. How will you remember Haryana, Banawali and Rakhigadi? So I remembered Har Banawali Bar Rajasthan. Har Bar. Can you correlate? Har Bar. Haryana, Banawali, Rakhigadi. Next, Daimabad in Maharashtra. Okay. So this is also important. Suktagandar. So Suktagandar, although it is in Pakistan-Iran border, now it is kind of Chabahar port. Okay. So Suktagandar is near to this Chabahar port. You have to remember. So only two ports are mentioned. One is Lothal and one is Suktagandar. Suktagandar is not in India. Okay. Right. Next, Alamgirpur. Alamgirpur in Uttar Pradesh. Okay, Uttar Pradesh, Alamgirpur. You have to remember. Okay, so these are the important sites. Okay, so now you can remember the geographical boundary of Indus Valley civilization, right? Starting from Afghanistan में Shottugai, Jammu Kashmir, Manda, and Uttar Pradesh, Alamgirpur, Maharashtra, Daimabad, and Sindh, Mohenjo-daro and Dholavira, no, Chanudaro, and Gujarat, Dholavira, and Haryana, Rakhigadi, Harbar. Right. So this way you have completed all the places of Harappan region. Now each place have some importance. Okay. Okay, so town planning. So town planning, we have discussed everything, right? Even if you read also, it will be very simple. Uniformity, citadel, all these things are very well there. Burnt bricks. Okay, this is very important. So, which is not mentioned in other books. So we have a what to say, this great bath is there now. So the great bath, the description is very well given here. So great bath is in Mohenjo-daro. So it have steps leading to the bottom, and then in the bottom now you have this layer of bitumen, so that water do not percolate inside. Okay, such an advanced thing is there, and they have some holes to take out the water and refill the water after the baths are done. So this was used for both ritualistic bathing and non-ritualistic also. Okay, so this kind of advanced technique was used in the Great Bath. Also, there are rooms to change the clothes on the upper side of this Great Bath. So all these things you will be seeing here. So circular brick platform. So Lothal was an important port. Now you can remember, right? Lothal was an important port. Right. Next, so this page 34 I want you to see. Here you can see agriculture along with pastoralism. See, granaries were discovered in these three places: Harappa, Mohenjo-daro and Lothal. Okay. So I remembered as Mahal, Mohenjo-daro, Harappa and Lothal. So granaries at Mahal, Mohenjo-daro, Harappa and Lothal. Okay. Got it? Next, 35 page. So we have plough marks from Kalibangan. Okay. So how you will remember plough marks in Kalibangan is that ki, see, you plough a Kali place. Okay, if empty land is there, you just plough it. So see, I remember that way only. Okay, right. Terracotta plough was discovered from Banavali. Okay, see how I remembered Terabina. Okay, so terracotta Banavali. Okay, now coming to industries and crafts. So they were aware of almost all metals except iron. Iron was not known. Use of silver was more common than gold. So gold is costly now and then. Okay. This is a very very important point. Please pay attention. The thing is that of all the what to say, the weapons that are used by Harappans, we conclude that most of these are only offensive. No, because iron is not there, na. So all others are less, strength in strength. They are weaker. So that is the reason we find only offensive tools, not defensive tools. So sorry, defensive. So offensive tools were not there. Okay. So they were. It is the weapons are mostly defensive in nature. So this is one important point you have to remember. Okay. Next, uh, see here, copper was brought mainly from Khetri in Rajasthan. How will you remember copper was brought from Khetri? Anything? Like you can suggest. Like morning I was thinking like Khetri is kind of khatra na. Khatra is danger. So khatra hai to you will inform cops. Copper, Khetri, khatra. Let's say you can remember. You are comfortable with him, Dina? Okay, or else also see this way also you remember. So cops will take care. K3 you remember as care. Cops will take care of you like that. Okay, this is one thing. Gold was brought from Himalayan rivers and South India. We will see. Silver from Mesopotamia. Okay, I have told you na silver from Mesopotamia. Now, dancing girl from Mohenjo-daro. See, for all these things which are discovered in Mohenjo-daro, we have a code. So don't worry. From. Achha, except silver, I told you. Silver is there. Other than that, nothing. Other evidences are not there. Okay. So evidence of bead maker shops have been found at Chanudaro and Lothal. So how will you remember bead maker shops are in Chanudaro and Lothal? So I remember Chalo. Chalo, go to bed or something. Yeah, Charminar beats at. Acha, acha, okay, okay. हाँ हाँ. Okay, okay. A lot of beats in Charminar. So whatever way you want, you write. So I remember this. Chalo, go to bed, sleep. That way, bead maker shops. So this dancing girl, the dancing girl is from Mohenjo-daro. I told you na, for Mohenjo-daro I will tell you the code. So don't worry. Hmm. This bearded man also at Mohenjo-daro. Bearded man. Okay. Female figures worship is also there. People trace, all these things you will be knowing very well. Huh. So page number 37. Please see, there is no representation of horse. So in most of the Harappan seals or whatever artifacts, archaeological excavations that we are seeing, there is no evidence of horse. But then we would not conclude that horse is unknown to them. So because the theory is that horses were brought to India by the Aryans. So they came in horses from Siberian region and has occupied. That is what is Aryan invasion. Na? So horses are little not known here. That is what is needed. Okay. So there is one Pashupati seal. This is very important. Pashupati seal may be of religious significance or what we don't know. But then on that we have this four animals. So Brett you can remember buffalo, uh, rhino, elephant and tiger. So on the Pashupati seal we have this four. Brett, Brettley. Okay, this is what Pashupati seal is. Seal of Pashupati. So trade you can see. Okay, right. So in trade you can see Kolar goldfields of Karnataka were supplying gold. So this is page number 38. So Kolar goldfields from Karnataka. And then silver, this is very important. Jwar mines. We know only about the Khetri mines na, till now in Rajasthan. So remember, add to this Jwar mines. So Jwar mines, Rajasthan also supplied silver. So silver jar you can remember. Okay. So this next lapis lazuli was located in Badakhshan mines in Afghanistan. Okay. So lapis lazuli from Afghanistan, please remember. And then turquoise and jade from Central Asia. So these are like a coastal things, na? Western India supplied agate, chalcedony, and carnelian. So I remembered AC. In West it is Western India very hot, na? Rajasthan all this region. So AC, agate, carnelian, and chalcedony. That way you can remember. Okay. Okay, so I have told you na the export from Mesopotamia to Harappa include like garments, wool, perfumes, leather products, and silver. So except silver, all these are like they do not exist for long time, right? Perishable. So that is the reason we don't have much evidence. But our goods from India are there in the Mesopotamian region. Okay, social differentiation. See, everything is there. There is rich, there is poor. It was a patriarchal society mostly, and the people like monogamy was there. All these are not needed. Clothes. But then see, you have to read. Okay, read for sure. Or else the smaller terms only, like whether cotton is there or not there, wool is there or not there, how you will know? Now, so you have to see the things. So I have told you na religious worships, religious beliefs. So M for mother goddess. Yeah. Okay. Male goddess also is there, na Pashupati. Right. A for animism. L for so linga worship. So linga, this the genitals of humans, both male and female, are also worshipped. So E for earth, burials, female and fire also. Uh, other two other than mother goddess. Okay, that's it. That's it. Huh. The evidence of fire worship was found at Kalibangan and Lothal. So fire again, Kalo, Kalibangan and Lothal. Okay. At the end again, so dead bodies were generally rested in north-south direction. So okay, in Lothal na, we found lot of graves where along with the dead body they have there were some pots, vessels, beds and everything for that person in the grave, which means that they were believing in the concept of life after death. So this person may need these vessels in the next birth. That's why we will put it here in the grave. So this kind of belief system was also going on. So people tree again from Mohenjo-daro. So Mohenjo-daro we will remember all at once. So Harappan believed in life after death. So this is very important. At Lothal, double burials. So male and female were together buried so that their relation continues after death also. Okay. So just remember that these burials were discovered at Lothal. How you will remember? So in Telugu, Lothal, Lotu is some deep, na? You dig deep and then you find the burials. Okay, that way you can. But invasion, we are not bothered about anything. Okay, so now we have to remember the things which are in Mohenjo-daro. Na? So Mohenjo-daro. So we have the evidence of dancing girl. Okay, granary, Pashupati, seal, and people tree. Statue is also there, and then woven cloth. Okay, so these are there in the Mohenjo-daro. Okay, the code for this you have to remember. I remembered is DGP in BMW. What? Pashupati seal is it? Ah, yeah, different one. Yeah, we have seen four animals, na? Bread. Okay, that is different. And this bearded man. Okay, is different. So Pashupati and people are done, and bearded man and great bath. So actually, this we have to see P square, B square. Okay, that only na. Pashupati seal and people tree. We have seen na. One see in the book na. This hmm. Then one second. Mohenjo-daro. I think okay. It Mohenjo-daro also na. Okay, we will see. So for now, the Pashupati is in Mohenjo-daro also here. Okay, this is done right. So what are all we find in Mohenjo-daro is dancing girl. Ah, okay. Right. So dancing girl, granary, the huge granary actually. Okay, this Pashupati seal. This bearded man is here only, no? Bearded man with half eyes closed, which means we think that he is meditating or he might be a ritual head who is conducting some rituals. So this is all deciphering. Nothing. Some experts do it. Okay. This mother goddess woven cloth. So how many are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 things are there in Mohenjo-daro, right? So you know that this dance, see about everything you have to remember some details. These are so important. See, regarding the dancing girl, you have to know that this is made of bronze. Okay, bronze is used in making this dancing girl. So you know this technique, lost wax technique. So that was used for this. So they were very good at using bronze. Granary is okay. Pashupati seal is made of steatite. Hmm. And this bearded man statue is there. This is made of stone. See, girl is made of bronze and man is made of stone. Okay. And other things are not needed. So when you see the book, just focus on these things. Okay. Right. So now you know each and every place and what they are there. So that's it with this chapter. So when you read now, already the facts inside are also known. The concept and theory you should be reading by self to some extent. There are very few pages. See, for example, tomorrow 9 o'clock we are taking the class now. By then you have lot of time to read. 40 pages can you read? In 40 pages also half are like empty pages only. 30 pages. See, so 30 pages you should be able to read by tomorrow. Okay. So that's it with the Harappan period. Okay. Now you feel some like what to say bonding with history. Slowly you will get. Okay. Vedic age. So how is it? Are you able to correlate? Now you are able to. Okay. So celts are found in which period? Neolithic period. And then Bhimbetka cave paintings belongs to which period? Mesolithic. So Bhimbetka as a site is prominent for all the three ages, but then as a painting site only for Mesolithic age. Okay. And then who discovered this term Neolithic? John Lubbock we have found. And then who discovered Mohenjo-daro? Banerjee. Right. Okay, Ari, I forgot to tell two facts there. Um, all the sites of Harappa are divided into two using the citadel, right? Dholavira is the only one which is divided into three, not two. Okay? So, do, nahi, teen. So, Dholavira is divided into three. And then there is Chanudaro is there. Chanudaro is not having a citadel at all. Yeah, without citadel, Chanudara. Okay. So where did Harppans get silver from? And within India, Rajasthan, which means Jwar mines. Good. So Belan Valley is in UP. So Sanganakallu is a site, Karnataka, famous for which stone age? And Neolithic. Good, good. Yeah, Neolithic. And then Tuticorin, Tamil Nadu. So this what Mesolithic site of Tamil Nadu? Sorry, not Mesolithic. First one is Paleolithic. Tirapakkam. Right. You know this. Right. Microliths are the tools of Mesolithic age. And then we got Suktagandar is in Makran Coast in Pakistan-Iran border. Right, right. So this way you will remember. So tomorrow you revise more in between the lines also. So it will become very easy. Okay, na? Right. So I thought class will last up to 12:30. It is only 11:15 now. It is much faster than anticipated. This book is very good, na? So I am telling the outline and all, but the smaller details when you read in the book, you will feel too good. Okay. So now we will move to Vedic Age. Okay. 1 second. Okay. So similarly, we have called Harappan civilization because Harappa was the first site to be discovered. Similarly, we are calling this as Vedic age because uh, we came to know about the people of that period through Vedas. Vedas are the first, literature available. So till now we have, this is not the first literature available. I mean, we have the script in the Harappan period also, but that can't be deciphered now. Done. So now we have literature, that too in Sanskrit. Okay. So you have to know that firstly, this literature is very important. So the literature or the texts of this period are divided into two: mantras and brahmanas. I'll tell what are these. Okay, these mantras are nothing but four Vedas. So you know these Vedas now: Rig Veda, Yajur Veda, Sama Veda, and Athar Veda. So these Vedas, okay, you know that all these Vedas are to be, chanted, which means, see, in 1500 BC these were written, and then in 2026 also this is being transferred. The Vedic chants are being transferred from generations to generation through oral traditions only. So that is the reason UNESCO has recognized this Rig Vedic 1028 chants as UNESCO, intangible heritage. Okay, so this Vedic chantings. So this is very important. So Rig Veda consists of only these hymns. Hymns are chants, mantras, all these things. Okay, Yajur Veda, Sama Veda is kind of some songs. Atharva Veda to ward off some evils, na? Some mantras are there in the Atharva Veda. Okay, so Yajur Veda we will see. So in Sama Veda we have songs. Yeah, so rituals. In Yajurveda, we have the rituals. Okay, so all these are orally, being carried from generation to generation. Na? So we call them as smriti. स्मरण चढ़न स्मरण करने के लिए okay okay now brahmanas are explanations to these things because common people will not understand these mantras and hymns na so these are brahmanas are these explanations okay now these explanations are again two types which are aranyakas and upanishads. Okay, Aranyakas, Upanishads. So these Aranyakas and Upanishads are kind of appendices, appendix. So you have in your books this term appendix, right? Appendix mean? Hmm. Okay, appendix mean at the end of the book you have appendix which suggests that if you have interest to read further, click on this link and it will lead to somewhere. The book you can see, which means further at the end we have these things for further readings okay that is why we call at the end these are their vedangas okay vedangas ant mein these are there okay got it so you can know that all this literature is full of knowledge so that is the reason the word ved refers to knowledge with knowledge okay so now you understood the literature so mantras are these things which are also called smritis because we are just not writing them okay and then the brahmanas are just the explanations and then these two are appendices okay aranyakas these are like forest treatises which means the experts they sit calmly in the forest area and keep on writing about the greatness of these things and all so that is aranyakas and upanishads so upanishads are just uh, sit and read these things so these also so all these aranyakas and upanishads are called vedangas smruti ha you can call so okay so these are there so this is the literature not much is given in your book okay now the next part is there in the Vedic age na we have to see first society polity economy religion if these things are done the chapter will be done okay first let us see society so they are comparing early Vedic and later Vedic okay so where a clear year of demarcation is not there okay so just the thing when changes have happened okay it is very important to know the changes because see firstly in the early Vedic society see just remember for society polity economy and religion everything was good in the early Vedic period and it changed to bad in the later Vedic period okay bad means okay you will see why the thing is that okay first in the early Vedic period the society was okay patriarchal but then women were not subjugated but here women were subjugated and utter patriarchy was prevailing okay here child marriages were not there so child marriages were there polygamy was not there polygamy was confined only to some kings and all not for common people but here common people were also were involved in this polygamy so this way, in early Vedic society, these things have come up. The one important thing you need to know in the later Vedic period is that first time we came to know about the Gotras. Okay, Gotra, and Varna system, Varna system, ashrama tradition, okay, in the later Vedic period. So Gotras, you know, Varna system, you know na this thing. So Brahmins, now this is the structure, right? So this thing has come up in the later Vedic period only. Previously, here the segregation was only based on the race, like dark dasas and dasyus. Okay, so you know that why Vedic age has come is because of the Aryan invasions. Aryans were the people who were residing in the northern Siberia region through horses and all, this Central Asian region. Now you know this Stan countries. So from there they have come here and then occupied India. That was the theory. You know that this is proposed by racial. You must be. Hmm? Ah, good year. Herbert Risley. Nice. So Herbert Risley has come up with, proposed this racial theory, right? Good. So racial theory, this racial segregation was there in the early Vedic period, but then this transformed into total Varna system now. Okay. Now ashrama tradition has come. You know this ashrama. Four. First is brahmacharya, then grihastya. Third is forest vanaprastha and sannyasa. So these four traditions have come up here. And then occupation. Occupation here was anybody can do anything. Okay. So there are like in the early Vedic books we find that there is a person who tells that I am a farmer, my son is a carpenter and my other son is like weaver, all these things. Which means people were following their own occupations as per the wish. But then here caste occupations. So when these Varnas came, so these people were only ruling these two classes. Okay, these people are only trading. These people are just working, and these are facing hell. So these kind of things came up in later Vedic period. Okay, so this you have to remember. So be it with respect to women, be it with respect to caste, gotra and ashrama tradition, and then occupation, all these things, social life changed to worse. So can you do you agree with me? This is not mentioned in book. At my subjective thing, I don't like this kind of segregation. Okay, so that is why it is so. Okay, these changes has taken place from early Vedic to later Vedic period. Now come to polity. So polity में early later. So in the early Vedic period na see the smallest unit is family. Family formed clan. Sorry, clan formed tribe. Yeah. Okay. The whole tribe has a head called Rajan, and then this guy used to be elected in the early Vedic period. Okay, and then there are some sabhas and samitis. These used to be organized very well, and that too with the participation of women. Okay, also elections used to be there, and then the taxes were also voluntary taxes that we call Bali. So the taxes were voluntary. So this kind of setup was there with respect to polity. Now the king became hereditary. His sons were becoming and elections are taken off. Okay, these Sabha Samitis, were confined only to women were taken off and even the poor people were taken off and then confined only to rich. Okay, now no nothing about elections. Now taxes were compulsory and forced. If you don't pay tax, you will be penalized. Okay, these kind of changes had taken place in the later Vedic period. Okay, so this is the thing. Hmm. Now coming to economy in early Vedic and later Vedic. See in economy it will change for good only, na, definitely. So you cannot. I mean, I too don't have any issue with this. So in economy, in the later Vedic period, what happened is that one important discovery is iron. Okay, iron was discovered in the later Vedic period in India. Okay, not all over the world we are talking about, in India. So in later Vedic period, iron was discovered. Now iron was discovered means what happened? The surplus agriculture production will be very high right now. So, and moreover, the diversity of crops, the amount of crops, both in quality and quantity, will be very high. So, iron has such a power to make lot of tools that are used in the agriculture and used in the trade. This single invention is so important that this agriculture has catapulted Indian civilization into lot of urbanization period, which we will see tomorrow, the age of Mahajanapadas, where the present lot of cities like Varanasi and Ujjain, a lot of you will see tomorrow, all these cities which are very relevant today, which are so important today, have their origin in the discovery of iron. So because iron was discovered, lot of agriculture surplus. Agriculture surplus, people were having lot of money, and because of money, they have converted agriculture has become industrial sort of industrialization has taken place, and lot of cities which are there in 2026 also are there. So can you appreciate this discovery now? Iron. So that way, and then I have told you what is the crop that came here, sugar cane. So other than that, every other crop was there previously. So now this thing is important. Agriculture, manuring, all these things are there, right? So religion also, actually religion, I thought that okay, like they would not ask much from these religious aspects in the name of gods and all. In UPSC till now it is not asked, but then this year I have seen this CAPF and CDS paper. They have asked the gods names also. Like they have given a set of gods and they ask whether they are in later Vedic or early Vedic. So the changes are there. So previously, the only change I remember is that in the early Vedic period, like female gods were also there, but then in the later Vedic period, they are also taken off, and then Indra has become the main god of the later Vedic period. Okay, so this way we will see in the book now. Okay, that's it. So in the Vedic age, what you will remember is first the Aryan invasion theory. See, that is only a theory. That is why question would not be asked. Okay, we do not agree with this invasion thing also. So that is okay. But then later on, we will talk about the literature. Okay, then we will talk about the uh, changes taking place in the later Vedic and early Vedic period in all these aspects, economy, society, and all this. That way, this will be done. Okay, then let us go to the book now. This thing, I forgot to tell you this code now. In the Harappan page you take na. So there are four other Chalcolithic cultures apart from Harappan. I have told you na. The page number is 43. Okay, 43. Okay, for 42 also. See, Banas culture is in Rajasthan. So these sites are also very important. Uda, Ahar and Gilland. So I remember bag. So Banas, Ahar and Gilland. Okay. Okay, one is done. Kayatha culture in Madhya Pradesh. Okay, so Kayatha in Madhya Pradesh. Will you remember this? And Malwa culture in again in Madhya Pradesh, no? So Jorve culture in Maharashtra. Okay, so I you can use this code Maza ka Band. Malwa, Jorve, Kayatha, Banas. And in this also you have to remember two places are there. So they can give some place and ask you which is this famous for. Okay. So Banas mein what are the two places? Ahar and Gilan. Mm. And in Kayatha, Chambal. How will you remember Kayatha, Chambal? So if you remember Kayatha is in Madhya Pradesh, then Chambal can be remembered. So I remember this way. Kaya is a fruit and you cut it into middle. Kayatha, Madhya Pradesh, you just remember. Malwa mein, Malwa you will need not remember the region. Okay. How will you remember this Navda Toli? So in so Navmali I have written something. You also have your own code and remember. Okay, right. The pottery of this Chalcolithic period are this thing here, OCP and see nothing but orche colored pottery and black and red ware. So just these two things you have to remember. Okay, that's it. So we are done with the Chalcolithic age, which includes Harappa in majority. Tools. Daimabad is in Maharashtra. So see, lot of questions are only there. If you start reading, it will be too easy. So these things, Vedic text, page number 48. So we are, opening the Vedic chapter. So I have told you, the segregation, mantra and brahmanas. So that explanation is done, right? Yeah. So that four Vedas are also done, right? Four Vedas you remember, na? So Rig Veda hymns, Yajur Veda rituals, Sama Veda songs, um, Atharva Veda for evil spirit ka to take off, right? Also you have this Rig Veda is included in the UNESCO. So what was the previous one which we have discovered with respect to UNESCO? Bhimbetka cave paintings. Good year. So migration of Aryans, this is a theory. If you want, you remember. If not, 50 page number. So this is important. The evidence of horses and spoked wheels. Horses and spoked wheels we have here in and fire cult. So this is these three are they may seem very simple, but then these are a result of the Aryan invasion on the Indian subcontinent. So horses, spoked wheels, fire cult. How you remember? HWC or yeah, just remember na. Right. Right. So this Vedic geography, if you have to remember, so they are spread in the region of Sapta Sindhu, means 7 rivers. Okay, so now we will remember one by one. First one, the 7 rivers are Vilam. I remember white gel, or to grow wheat you need water, gel, Jilam. That way I remember. So you remember somehow. Asikni is Chinab. You know this Aksai Chin region, Asikni, Chinab. So that way you can remember. So next, Parushni, Ravi. So Parushni is Ravi. You have to remember Ravi. Vipash is BS. So how I remember is VIP boss, like that I remember. Vipash Bias. Okay. Shatudri Satluj you will remember. It is easily rhyming now. So these are the Sapta Sindhu rivers, uh, along which the Vedic civilization prevailed. So to recollect, Jhelum is Vipash. Vitast. Ravi, Parushdi. Bias, Vipash. Once see na, then we will just take this, just 10-15 seconds you can see. Okay. Okay. So in early Vedic economy, so we have to see this. Everything was surrounded around cow in the early Vedic period. So cow means not any ritually or something. See, cow was domesticated in such a high way that everything, like if for example, if a marriage is done, then the dowry would be 10 cows. So this way. So if any rituals happen, cow would be worshipped. So these kind of things has happened. That is the reason this daughter was known as this Duhitri, who milks cows. Okay, so the daughter was also referred by this name, which includes cow. So such a way it is important. Just remember this thing, na? In the early Vedic economy. Or else, other than that, you will be knowing all the things. This term is very important. Page number 52. So they produced Yava, which means barley. Okay, changes in the Vedic period. So you can know this. See, I told you na, in the later Vedic period, Indra has become a very important god. So the lord of plough was very important. And then Tila is the oil. So in Hindi, you know, Til is oil. So Tila, which was widely used for cooking. So first time we have the evidence of cooking, that too with oil, in the later Vedic period. Okay, and sugarcane. So all other things were there. Sugarcane was added in this period only, in the later Vedic period. And also this ayas referred to copper or bronze. So the term ayas referred to copper or uh, bronze. So you can remember cop aya. So cop has come that way. So here you see the painting PGW. CH, that painting na. So polished ones. So here painted graveware, PGW painting. So they know about seasons, manuring, everything you would see. Okay. So early Vedic society. So we have seen na society. So initially in the early Vedic it was egalitarian. some equality was maintained, women was not discriminated, caste system was not there, all these things. So in a way, the only thing was uh, Arya Varna and Dasa Varna. Okay, Aryas and Dasas. Dasas is slaves kind of. So ashrama, you know this na? Brahmacharya, Grihastha, Vanaprastha and Sannyasa. We have discussed this thing. Actually, one of my friend used to be there. He used to joke that if you are in this government exam and UPSC preparation, directly from first stage to fourth stage, Brahmacharya to Sannyasa, these two stages are skipped. So, Varnashrama. So religion, actually this was an area which surprised me. I thought they would not ask. But then because others have become so easy, people are reading. So this is the only gray area in this chapter. So see the things now. Initially they have worshipped these natural forces and all these things. Uh, yeah, this is exactly, this line is asked in CAPF examination. This Ushas, Shavasti, Prithvi. So they have given some other name from the later Vedic period and added. So these gods are from which region, sorry, which period. Okay, so please pay some attention to this. To this, you have this Maruti is wind, right? So Agni, the fire god. Soma is a drink. You have to remember. You must be knowing. So the thing is that in the initial, early Vedic period, the ritual system was not so complex. So people used to, in the later Vedic period, the Brahmanism, because of this Varna system has come up now. Because of that, the Brahman dominance, the upper Varna dominance is such a way that the rituals become heavy, burdensome. Okay, they became so burden on common of this religion and converted to Buddhism and Jainism. So that is the reason, because of this lot of complex rituals only, Jainism and Buddhism has received lot of attention from Indian people. Okay, so this is very important. This changes in later Vedic period. So see, dana dakshina to the priest, lot of gifts, number of gifts has to be given to the priest in the later Vedic period. Okay, changes in the later Vedic. So Vishnu and Rudra, who were smaller gods, Viru. Okay, Vishnu and Rudra. So these gods became very important now, and lot of yajnas, because this priestly class dominance. Na, a lot of yajnas has to be performed. Ashwamedha, Vajpaya, and Rajasuya. These are the yajnas which are to be given to the. These are to be performed by the kings. You know what is Ashwamedha? This kind of, they leave a horse and that horse runs. So till where it runs, then the king has the right over it. All these things, and in that half has to be given. Some of the amount has to be given to the priests and all. So these things are there. So just you need to remember that these three are the rituals. Okay. So Upanishads, rebirth, transmigration, all these things are there. So early Vedic polity. So easily you will remember all these things. So here you see now, in the early Vedic polity, apart from Sabha Samiti, we have these three things which you will forget: Vidhata, Gana, and Parishad. Okay, page number 57, last lines. So the tribal assemblies in the later Vedic period are Vidhata, Gana, and Parishad. Okay, so literally, if this term is given na Vidhata, you will easily think that this is a person's name. Okay, this is an assembly. Sabha Samiti. See this, you will read these things very properly. Like, chief, previously elections were there, no hereditary system is there, but then later on, see, Bali was the okay. Here also in page number 58, you please see na. This thing you may forget. Please remember, Senani Kulapa and Gramini. So these things, see now you may remember, but after reading Mauryan period and Ashoka and Guptan period, you will easily confuse that which we have where we have studied this thing. So Kulapa, Gramini and Senani we have studied in the later Vedic period. This you have to remember. Okay. So Bali was the voluntary tax given by the people. Huh. So 58 page number, bottom say second paragraph. Taxes called along with Bali, see new taxes have come up, Shulka and Bhaga. So Bhaga and Bali you will easily understand, but then Shulka, how will you know that Shulka is a tax? Have to remember. Okay, so later on they have become Janpadas. That's it. Okay, so these three chapters, hardly in your book it is some 30 pages. It should take only less time for you to revise. Now that the difficult memory things are taken care of, the subjective part will be easy for you to remember. Okay, so how was it? Did you feel okay? Good. So thank you. We will end the online one.